Hey guys, it's your girl Xavier, and I'm back with another reaction video for you today. And today I am checking out how did Canada choose its flag? Canada explained. And I'm getting this one from the millennial. Post millennial. Okay, so I hope you go over and show him some love. The link will be in the description below. Also, if you want to watch it on Disturb, the link will be in the description below for you to find it. So we're going to get right into this one. If you're new here, welcome. Thank you for being here. So let's learn something together for those who are going to learn for the first time. And for those who know, let me know your thoughts in the comment section and let me know what you'd like me to check out in the comment section next about Canada. Here we go now.
Canada's national flag is relatively new when compared to our closest allies. Unlike the United States, which first used a version of its flag at the beginning of the Revolutionary War, and would evolve over time by adding another star with every new state, or the United Kingdom, whose flag symbolizes a union of the three flags for Scotland, England, and Wales, which date back to the early 12th century. Canada's current flag did not exist until 1957, almost a century after Canadian Confederation. Between Confederation and gaining our independence, Canada had many different flags.
Oh,
Our flags evolved, like our territory, to encompass new provinces and territories as they joined the Confederation of Canada. When Newfoundland and Labrador joined Canada in 1949, it became apparent that Canada had expanded its borders as far as it could, and it was time to create a national flag that represented all of our population. Thousands of proposals were put forward by students, professors, and even prime ministers. Here's a look at what Canada's flag looked like in the past and what it could have looked like today. For most of Canada's history, our flag wasn't determined by our government or Canadians themselves, but by our conquerors. Extension of the colonial feud between the United Kingdom.
interesting. So I know it's red and it's a maple leaf. That I know. But I had no clue it wasn't decided by the government or the people. It's the conquerors that interesting. Okay, and I didn't know you had other flags before you decided on this one as well.
Kingdom and France, parts of Canada flew either the symbol of France or of England,
Okay.
depending on their allegiance. The first flag known to have been flown in Canada was the St. George's Cross, carried by John Cabot when he reached Newfoundland in 1497.
Oh,
In
okay.
1534, Jacques Cartier planted a cross in Gaspé, bearing the French royal coat of arms with the fleur de lis. As the British began to dominate the region following multiple wars across almost every continent, most of Canada began to fly the Union Jack. This flag would continue to be flown in Canada up until 1931. Shortly after Canadian Confederation in 1867, the need for distinctive Canadian flags emerged. Provinces had previously flown versions of the famous template of the British Red Ensign. Originally, Canada simply combined the coats of arms of its member provinces and placed it on a red ensign as well. But this does
Oh,
not mean that everyone adopted the same national flag. As new provinces were added, the idea of simply combining coats of arms became increasingly convoluted. By World War I, the crest had become an exceptionally difficult flag to recreate. The sheer number of symbols and confusing crests led to different versions of the Canadian flag being flown within Canada itself, and sometimes by Canadian soldiers overseas. Yet, World War I provided a distinct opportunity. For the first time, all of Canada's member provinces were stationed in the same geographic region. At Vimy Ridge, the maple leaf, a symbol that first emerged on the badge of the 100th Prince of Wales Royal Canadian Regiment of Foot, began to be carved into the soft chalk walls of the tunnels beneath the Canadian lines.
oh, wow. Look at that. So before World War One, there were the crest and on the red, and then you had just the red like a cross, like a plus, and on white. But I did not realize that you guys went through too much changes. And then you could find the confusion with when so many providence and so forth come in and everybody is taking on, a piece of England with the crest. I can see where the confusion would come about. So of course you want something for yourselves to represent your country.
emerging as a new symbol of national unity. In 1921, by proclaiming the Royal Arms of Canada, King George V made red and white the official colors of Canada.
Okay.
The search for a new national flag that would better represent Canada as an independent nation began in earnest in 1925, when the Privy Council set up a committee to investigate possible designs. This would mark the beginning of what is now called the Great Canadian Flag Debate, which would last almost 40 years. It wasn't until 1946 that the committee gave its first official recommendation, called, rather lazily, the 1946 Special Joint Committee's recommended national flag. Sadly, this appeared to be a mere revamp of the Canadian red ensign, but it made one noticeable advancement. The committee recognized the maple leaf as Canada's national symbol, despite the fact that the design was never formally evolved over time by adding another star with every new state, or the United Kingdom, whose flag symbolizes a that would better represent Canada as an independent nation, began in earnest in 1925, when the Privy Council set up a committee to investigate possible designs. This would mark the beginning of what is now called the Great Canadian Flag Debate, which would last almost 40 years. It wasn't until 1946 that the committee gave its first official recommendation, called, rather lazily, the 1946 Special Joint Committee's recommended national flag.
1946. It took 40 years to, like, back and forth just to decide on a flag. Isn't that something? And it still wasn't decided upon. But one thing was for sure is that you guys chose the maple leaf. That was sure. The maple leaf represented Canada thus far. But then you still have the red background. Interesting.
Sadly, this appeared to be a mere revamp of the Canadian red ensign, but it made one noticeable advancement. The committee recognized the maple leaf as Canada's national symbol, despite the fact that the design was never formally adopted. Throughout the time that the committee was working on their own flag, Canadians from every province proposed their own.
Okay.
Attempts to symbolize national unity by using multiple symbols often became very elaborate, and only compounded the issue with the crest in the red ensign that they had been trying to solve. Student submissions, like these, succeeded in incorporating symbols from every province, but they often incorporated too much symbolism and failed to create an image of Canada as a whole. Some attempted to do this by making the symbols abstract. This proposal was intended to symbolize French and English unity.
Oh.
Likely the closest Canada came to adopting a flag like this was called the Ephraim Cote, proposed in 1939. It combined the Union Jack and the fleur-de-lis, with the maple leaf in the middle symbolizing the combination of the two. But Lester B. Pearson, a Prime Minister of Canada after World War II, wasn't pleased with any of these designs, and it seemed that Canadians weren't either. 20 years after the first committee came to their conclusion, a second was created. This second Select Parliamentary Committee was appointed with the same mandate as its predecessor and examined more than 2,600 submissions.
Oh, wow.
Pearson even favored his own, now colloquially called the Pearson Pennant. The three maple leaves were supposed to symbolize the same idea of unity as the Ephraim Cote, with the addition of blue borders to reference Canada's national motto, "From sea to shining sea."
Oh.
Those that loved it with a passion, like Pearson, but those that hated it were in the majority. So, a new design was proposed. George Stanley, a Canadian historian, teacher, and author, revealed his design. For the first time, the Canadian flag as we know it today began to take shape. Although the Union Jack and fleur-de-lis would eventually be dropped, and the maple leaf changed in favor of a more simplistic, 11-pointed design, the winner of the Great Canadian Flag debate had become clear. Making a clean, uncomplex version of the maple leaf center stage and removing symbols that would do more for national divisions than national unity, while using only the colors which were made officially Canada's in 1921. Stanley had created the symbol that undeniably represents Canada as a whole to this day. Unlike other countries which needed to revise their flags every time a new province or state was added, Canada's flag is a symbol of a whole country being greater than the sum of its parts. Thanks for watching. If you like this video,
I love the concept of how when they all boil down to how you end up with that. It's just a one flag representing a whole country instead of you having a part of each province. It would be utter chaos. And if you keep adding, then you have to go and add that to the flag itself. The Union Jack that was taken off. I remember the name of the other one was taken off, and it just I even the one with the blue on the side from sea to shining sea. I like that design as well. That was pretty cool. The one with the geese or goose, I'm not sure what it was, with the leaf, and then I don't know. The one I think it was a beaver. That one didn't look bad at all, but I love the simplicity of the final, the one that was decided upon. But it took a long time for them to really decide on a flag. It really took us 40 years first, the design going back and forth, and then it was there. They came up with something, but it just didn't sit well with everyone. And then 20 years later, a historian, it's yeah, it's a process, but I love the end result. So there you have it. I learned something today. Um, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful flag. Like I said, simplicity at its best, but so beautiful. Red and white. Listen, it don't get no better than that, don't it? You gotta be proud of your flag for whichever country you are, because I am so definitely proud of mine, my Jamaican flag. It's the only one that has the only country in the world that has its own colors that is not duplicated or not taken from any other flag in the world. Well, you tell me, that's amazing. So I get it. It's your girl Xavier, and I'm running out of here. Thanks for watching. Let me know in the comment section what you'd like me to check out next. Hit the like, hit the share, and I'll see you guys in another one.